What's up, guys? George back again to rant and ramble a little bit. This topic's not gonna sit well with some people. It'll sit well with others, um, and that's the NFL and basically their war on Donald Trump. I don't even know where to start as far as my thoughts on it. I have so many different thoughts on the topic that it's not an easy topic for me to talk about outright. So I'm just winging this. When Colin Kaepernick sat last year during the national anthem, I didn't even think twice about it. He wasn't a starter. I figured he was just doing it because he was being a baby, because he wasn't starting anymore. And I was just like, whatever, go ahead, act that way, not knowing fully why he was doing it. And I think a lot of people felt the same way I did. And a lot of people today probably still feel the same way I do. I did. When he came out and started taking a knee during the national anthem, I noticed there's definitely something more to this than what's being talked about in the news. So I started researching it some. I heard what he had to say, and I agreed 100% with the reason why he was doing it. But I still felt that it was silly, that he was just being looking for attention, that he was looking for attention because he wasn't a starter anymore. And let's face it, the guy wasn't the greatest quarterback to begin with. He was good, but, let's be real. So I never really thought too much more about it. Obviously, there is a division in this country that we live in certain areas of the country that more so than other areas that see African Americans in a different light than someone like I would. And I know it's a tough topic to talk about, and I'm trying my hardest not to make this a one-sided rant, I guess. Where I live near Philly, I grew up with everybody. Black, white, Asian, Hispanics. It's just the way it is here. Never thought any different about anything different about it. Some of my best friends today are black or Asian, but I never thought they were different because their race was different. I just never, it never crossed my mind that, we're different. Like I said, this is tough. This is a tough conversation to have. When I see shit down south, and read in high school about what black men and women went through in the 60s and the 50s. It makes me sick to my stomach, really. The separation, the separation, the between like seeing old films of or old documentaries of segregating people from a water fountain, white water fountain and a black water fountain, or a diner, or a bus. I mean, to me, I can't wrap my head around that. Uh, that that's the way it was in certain areas. And when I look back now, I'm like, what the, what were people thinking? I don't get it. And then when you go dig deeper, and when you're in high school or junior high, and you start learning about the Civil War and having slaves, and it was just like, what? Really? Like that happened? That happened here? Really? Okay. Well, obviously, there's nothing I can do about it now. I wasn't around then. But I would like to think that if I was around then, that I would not have fallen into that way of thinking or way of living. What we have now, and I know this is going to piss off a lot of people that watch this if you're a Trump supporter, and I'm not going to call you in any names for voting for him, or, be ignorant towards a Trump, supporter. That's just not me. When I see some people on online videos and other things, do I think people are stupid? Absolutely. But it's on both sides. It's not just it's Trump supporters. Like, I didn't vote for Trump. However, it took me a lot to to vote for Clinton, for Hillary. I didn't want to vote for her either. When I see people tearing down Obama's last 8 years in office, that really makes me think, knowing everything that the guy did in office and everything that he didn't do or should have done, the stuff that he did right outweighs the stuff that he didn't do right, in my opinion. Now, you probably think different if you're a Trump supporter or a Republican, and that's fine. It's why we can debate. And I happen to like the guy a lot. I thought he brought a lot of class to the presidency. But then you have somebody like Trump, who, look, I'm going to be straight. I never liked the guy to begin with, even before he started, running for president or whatever. I always thought he was an egotistical asshole. And I think that's starting to show a lot. And obviously with his support, uh, his numbers are way down. As far as approval ratings right now. And I think a lot of people that did vote for him felt like I did with Clinton. Like, I don't like her, but I like him even less. Or I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like either one of them, but, I don't like her more than I don't like him, so I'm going to vote for him. Or, yeah, I just think there was a lot of people in that boat as well. Um, so anyway, really, I don't like the guy. I don't like anything about him. I don't like anything about his crew down in Washington. I'm not a Washington guy. I don't think a lot of them. They talk a good game. They always say they're out for the middle class, which obviously I am. And I think every president's like that for the most part. They talk a good game, but then when it comes down to it, they do nothing. Uh, Nothing to help their agenda. Anyway, getting back to the NFL. Saturday morning when I got up before I went to work, I was watching some flipping through the news on TV and saw what he had said about NFL players if they protest and throw that son of a bitch out of the game and fire him. And I knew right then and there was going to be some kind of backlash. I didn't know what it was going to be, but I knew some of the players would take a knee. I didn't realize it would be the whole NFL, really. And I give my respects to everybody in the NFL, the owners, the players, the coaches. Pretty much taking a knee on Sunday and basically throwing a big fuck you, big middle finger up to Trump for, I believe, for trying to bring politics into the NFL. When I was a kid, I played ball. I don't ever remember standing for the national anthem because we were either in the locker room or whatever. The only time I remembered playing for the rising for the national anthem was during baseball, playing baseball when I was a kid, and obviously watching a lot of baseball on TV and being at the Phillies games and all that. And it just never dawned on me that we didn't do it in the NFL until 2009, that the players were out there. And the reason why is because the government asked the NFL and ended up paying the NFL to have its players out on the field while for the national anthem. A lot of people don't know that. Usually the NFL, the players were still in the locker room getting ready to come out and do their entrances and all that stuff before the game started. And obviously, if you watch at home, how often do you see the national anthem on TV? You don't, unless you're watching playoffs or Super Bowl. So when they all came out and took a knee, I respected the shit out of them for it. I didn't think they were disrespecting the flag or the troops. And I think most people know that they weren't doing that. Well, some people knew that they weren't doing that or decided to figure out why they were doing what they were doing instead of just jumping to conclusions and saying you're disrespecting the flag and the troops and yada yada yada. So that's where I have a hard time seeing these guys on TV burning their NFL gear or their season tickets and not gonna watch the NFL football anymore, which to me is total bullshit. It's total bullshit. Like the Steelers fans burning their flag or burning the flag, burning their jerseys and their jackets and their T-shirts and pennants and all this shit. You know goddamn well, as soon as the Steelers make the playoffs, which they probably will, they always seem to do, all those people, or 90% of those people, are going to be right back on the bandwagon rooting for their Steelers. I've been a Philadelphia Eagles fan since I can remember. And obviously we haven't won shit here as far as Super Bowls go. But I support my team no matter what. The losing years, the winning years, the almost making the Super Bowl or almost making the playoffs. I love the game. I love the sport. I didn't think they were disrespecting the flag or the troops. Didn't even cross my mind Sunday morning. But I knew that all those guys being called out by one guy, one idiot in the White House, they weren't going to stand for it. And it's their right as an American citizen and the First Amendment for them to do that. Just like it's his right to say if they protest, then they should be fired. That's his right to say it. It's my right to say that I think he's a fucking asshole. I always have. Um, and it's your right, if you like the guy, to defend the guy to me or whoever. It's your right. That's why it took me 4 days or 5 days after Sunday and reading everything that I've read, watching all the news that I've watched, seeing both sides, and realizing that nobody can win at this. I mean, nobody. Either side. You're always going to have a debate about it. Whether you think they disrespected the flag and our troops and or you didn't. It's like saying, people say, well, if you protested at work at your job, wouldn't you be fired? First off, my job, no. That's just me. But second off, it's not like they stopped in the middle of the game and dropped to a knee and refused to play. It's not what they did. They showed solidarity with each other, for each other, to each other at the beginning of the game, during the anthem. They took a knee. They were on the field. They were still there. And they locked arms. This idiot think they locked arms. Trump thinks they locked arms to support him. I think the guy's syphilitic. I really do. I think he's got a mental issue going on. I think the stress of being president of the United States is getting to him. And that's why he has to go to all these rallies, put all these rallies together. So, he gets that mental masturbation that he needs, to stroke his ego. And I know even some of my friends and my friends on YouTube, obviously, actually, are Trump supporters or Republicans. They don't like liberals. God forbid you would like a liberal. They think liberals are stupid or whatever. It's silly. I'm a liberal. Anytime I can help somebody, I try to help somebody. That's just the way I was brought up. Now, I don't know if that has anything to do with being a liberal. I have no idea. But when I see guys on YouTube and ranting and raving about the NFL players disrespecting the flag and bitching and into the camera and how dare they do that. This is America, land of the free, home of the brave. You're doing exactly the same thing they did. You're protesting against them like they protested against Trump. And it's funny when they yell, if it wasn't for the flag and our troops, that you wouldn't be able to protest. That's exactly the point. Um, I don't know, man. I like to keep my channel loose and just do records and CDs and movies and all that shit. But I mean, this is real life as well. And sometimes I know with me, it makes me feel better rambling shit off and getting it off my chest. And I'm not gonna boycott the NFL. I would never boycott the NFL unless it was something they did that was really ridiculous. But my boycott starts like when the Eagles moved to the new stadium and the prices went up. I dropped my season tickets. I can't afford them. That was my boycott. I just can't afford to give them money, so I'm not going. I'll watch it on TV. Um, the whole black white thing in America right now is really ridiculous. It's worse now. The division in this country is worse now than it's ever been. I think. Not so much in my area where I live, because we all live together as one community. And then you see people just making shit up online. It's so ridiculous. Oh God, it gets me so angry. Um, so I don't know. I'm not gonna respond to anybody that leaves a comment below. It's just I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna fall for that whole back and forth shit, because obviously, if you have a different opinion than me, that's fine, man. Like, that's whatever. That's what makes this country good, great. Is everybody can have a different opinion and speak it. Speak their opinion. Let their opinion be known to other people. But unfortunately, today that's not, and especially with social media, that's not the case. People feel the need to respond negatively, or calling somebody stupid for having their own thoughts, or their own opinion. And I've done it myself. Just when you get pissed off enough at somebody, you're like, you're a fucking idiot. There's just no getting, there's no talking to people like that. And, a lot of people try and change other people's minds about situations or their beliefs. How often does that work? How often do you really change somebody else's mind on their beliefs? I'm going to say never. If that's what they believe in, that's what they believe in. There's no change. You can debate about it. You can talk about it. But usually when you start debating and talking about it, it ends up in an argument. So, anyway, like I said, I'm not going to fucking fall into the trap of answering anybody's comments below. You can leave a comment, I'll read them, but I'm not going to answer them. But I just think it's a silly discussion to be having today in this day and age. Trump should be worrying about what's going on around the world, not what the NFL players are doing, because he knew deep down that they were doing it basically to shove it up his ass, really. Nothing to do with the flag, had nothing to do with our troops. It was basically a big fuck you, dude. Like, if you're gonna call us out, this is what's gonna happen. And now, of course, um, I hate to say it, but I don't want to say it, so I'm not going to say it. Um, but you get people that think other differently. You get people that think differently and think that they were just disrespecting the flag and our troops, and without looking into it more, without educating themselves more on the reason why they were doing it or why they did it. And I think they're going to do it again this weekend. I really do. And I don't care if they do or not. If they don't do it, I don't care. If they do it, I don't care. I turn on the NFL to watch football. I watch my team play that I love. Um, and I'll bitch and moan at them for them doing something stupid on the field, like fumble or, if they want to take a knee, take a knee. It's their God given right. Not that I believe in God, but it's their given right as an American to take a knee during the anthem. My father was in the service during Vietnam. My grandfathers were in the service during World War II. Um, I have cousins in the service now. And all those people fought for the right for every American to protest or to talk about whatever they want to talk about. And I find no disrespect in what the NFL players did at all. They got called out by this president and they answered him in a peaceful protest. It's not like they were burning the stadiums down or not showing up to play football at all. And these people, people say these guys get paid millions of dollars to play a game. Yeah, they do. They get paid. Do they ask for the pay? Most of the time, no. That's what they get paid. That's what they're offered. And if you and I were offered that for record collecting, somebody hired us for our knowledge of record collecting and offered you $8 million a year, like you wouldn't take it. I mean, these guys honed their skills since they were 6, 7 years old playing pee-wee football through junior high, through high school, through college most of the time. Obviously, if you make it to the NFL, you have some sort of talent. You've been watched. You've been picked in the draft. The NFL, the players, it's not just a 17-week season. These guys do it all year long. And whether that's practice and mini combines, everything that these guys do for their own communities, they give some of that money and turn it back into their communities. They start football programs for kids that have special needs or kids that can't afford anything. And same with baseball players. We've gone to Phillies camp. The kids have gone to Phillies, I forget what it's called now, but the Phillies camp during the summer. Put on by, I guess back when Mike was little, like Chase Utley or Jim Thome or guys like that. So it just, when I see uninformed people make a decision like burning their gear, which they've paid for, money out of their pocket. Season tickets, which is ridiculous. That you already paid for them. Uh, you're just burning money. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. None. You're just, you're spiting yourself at that point. Um, and people think that I'm wrong, but I'm allowed to have this opinion, just like you're allowed to have your opinion. If it's the same or if it's different or whatever. Um, Hopefully, at some point, all this shit will blow over, and Trump will worry more about what is going on in the world as far as the hurricanes and North Korea, and he really should start worrying about his own future as a president, because I don't see it lasting very long. I really don't. I think he's going to get himself impeached. Um, I just don't see it. I don't see this guy lasting. But I could be wrong. I've been known to be wrong a lot. So, anyway, I just wanted to get on here, give my 2 cents. Like I said, whatever. I mean, whatever you think. My stance is I don't think they were disrespecting the flag. Matter of fact, I know they weren't. They've come out and said it. The NFL's made it abundantly clear that's not the case. But people don't want to hear it or believe it. And because they have their beliefs of this is America, we do things our way or or no way kind of mentality. And that kind of mentality is not going to get you far. It's just not at all. So, anyway, that's it. I just wanted to throw my opinion out there. Not that it makes that big of a deal to anyone else, but like I said, it's been weighing on me all week, and reading people's posts here and there, and people on Twitter, and it's just like, are we really that divided? I guess we are, unfortunately. So I'll just stay in my own little world with my wife and kids and keep doing what I'm doing, because I can't change anything. Ain't nobody gonna listen to us, the middle class, anyway. Not gonna happen. Hasn't happened yet. It ain't going to. His tax reform last night was a joke. So I thought they tried that trickle down bullshit with Reagan, and it didn't work. So anyway, I don't want to get too political. I think this is the most political video I've ever had, ever. Probably be the last. But like I said, I just wanted to get shit off my chest because I love the NFL. I love football. I love baseball. Uh, some of my idols are football players and baseball players and musicians and guys I look up to. Guys I'm interested in reading about or learning about, and I suggest a lot of other people do the same thing. If you ever get to read anything about Roberto Clemente from the Pirates in the 60s, do yourself a favor and find something. Read a book about him. Amazing dude. But anyway, that's it. I'm going to get out of here. That's enough fucking bullshitting for once. So, anyway, thanks for watching. If you made it this far. And if you didn't, obviously you won't see it at the end. But thanks for watching. I'll talk to y'all real soon. Peace.